there's like this thing that where if we can't figure out how to do faster than light travel, or like some sort of like wormhole-y sort of travel that they think is theoretically possible, that there's only like a certain number of like stars within our like reachable like trajectory, because like the speed that the universe is expanding means that even if we're going at the speed of light, like the things will be moving away from us so fast, and the universe is spreading out so much that we won't actually be able to get beyond like a certain number of stars. So we have to
Interesting.
figure out like faster than light travel or some kind of wormhole.
Yeah, I have a friend, Jeremy Riss. He's an alien scientist on YouTube. They're working on warp drive right now.
Oh, really? What's his name? I
Yeah,
have to look this
his
up.
name is Jeremy Riss, Rys, alien scientist. And if you ever want to have him on the show, I can talk to him and see.
Oh yeah, man, that would be cool as
He's
fuck.
very interesting. Yeah, his research is top notch. They're working on like anti-gravity right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like matching electron spins to make things way less. It's fascinating.
Whoa. Okay, that is cool. I was watching this great show, podcast with Lex Friedman and Avi Loeb the other day, and he was saying that we are being ridiculous if we think that like trying to create alien tech on Earth is the most cost effective way. He was like, we should be looking for it outside of Earth, because it'd be cheaper to just take it than figure it out ourselves.
That's open source.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe it is out there.
Yeah, like he thought that. Did you see there was like, I don't know, it must have been 3 or 4 years ago. There was that like weird object that kind of like just sort of passed through the solar system. I think it's Umamua, I think is the name of it, and it was this like big, long, kind of like rocky asteroid thing, and he's pretty convinced that that was aliens.
Interesting.
Because it's like, I think it's one of the first things like in our recorded history at least that's passed through the solar system from like outside of the solar system essentially. And he's saying that like the like to be thinking that that's not it, like to just like write the idea off is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like the way synchronicity works, which seems like a real function of reality, kind of hard to describe, but it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility that we would come into contact with aliens now while we want to and while we're ready to interact with them technologically to a point. Like we're about to tap fusion and figure out warp drive, and so maybe it's all happening right now.
Yeah, maybe. Did you hear what the former head of the Israeli Secret Service said? I think it like some
I
point at the end of
did.
last year. Yeah, like that the aliens are waiting off planet for us to like calm down, basically.
Yeah, that's interesting. I feel like if there were aliens, they'd be interacting with us with light. Like when you shine a laser and a cat chases the laser around, like they'd be shining a laser at Earth and then like maybe hitting us with frequency of some sort. That would be the easiest, cheapest, and fastest way to interact with a foreign star system. Would be like shining something at it or like sending a wave at it. But you know, traveling, warp drive, they seem like real things. And
Yeah, I
maybe
mean
they're sending drones
yeah, they're
or something.
theoretically possible at least.
Yeah.
Like, so do you think the light are those light balls that people suggest that they see as
Yeah, a
UFO
lot of
sightings?
time. Well, I don't think that they are, but stuff like that could be. Like we could be it could be we could be being interacted with by that kind of stuff. I don't know. Could be. It's a funny, weird.
Yeah.
I have no proof of it. I have even no evidence of it, so
Hmm.
I can't really go in that direction.
Yeah, I mean, like, have you heard the story of Travis Wilton?
No.
So he was I'd never heard this story until he was on Joe Rogan like a month ago or something, and I was listening to it, and I was just like mind blown. It's like one of the most credible alien abduction stories. So he was like driving through the forest, like I'll just paraphrase here, he'll do a better job. Go check it out if you want more detail. But like he was like driving through the forest with him and like a bunch of guys who'd been doing like forestry work. They'd been like clearing pine needles or something to make it like less flammable. And anyway, so then they see this light, and then they're like, no, it's probably just some campers. And then they all kind of get like curious about it. So they like drive over to it, and then they like get to about 100 feet away, and they see this like what they describe as UFO, basically. And then this guy, Travis Wilton, kind of like goes up closer to it and then gets zapped by this, like what people described as like this beam of electricity or light or something. And then he was like thrown back, and then he woke up like in this UFO, and he says there was like aliens like standing over him, and he like tried to like shove them back or whatever. And then like there's a whole story to it. And then he woke up like after being like a gas mask over his face in the end of the story, and he wakes up in the same clearing that he was that they first spotted the UFO in, but 5 days later. And there were 7 people sworn statements to this day that say they saw this happen. And there was like a whole bunch of like chatter on like reports of like UFOs in the sky in that area that night. And like apparently there was like an official like FBI or CIA investigation into it and everything. And like you just listen to the guy talk, and you're like, at the same time as you're just thinking this is total rubbish, you're just like, why would this guy still lie? And why would those 7 people lie? And why would there have been all those sightings? And like you're trying to balance this like just like mind-boggling idea that like, okay, I can totally entertain the fact that there's quite possibly life in the universe apart from us, but like for them to have like come to Earth and like taken this dude, it like absolutely like blows my mind.
Yeah, they like magnetism, and when you have like power, an unlimited power source can do very strange things. Like especially like if you have unlimited, I mean, we can do a lot with just like a magnet. We have like acoustic levitation where we can like pump chemicals into water and like float water around and move it around the room with vibration, with like sound. So like if you have an nearly unlimited power source like fusion, the amount of like weird things you could do with magnets. I don't know if you could literally like beam someone somewhere, maybe, but I mean, so I don't know if he thinks he touched the thing and he got like zapped inside of it and then it reappeared inside, I don't know. But I mean, once you tap fusion, man, once you have like, there's a lot of possibilities.
Yeah, I mean, it's Tom DeLonge has talked a lot about like 0 point energy, where there's like more energy in like a square, like a tiny like pocket of air because of like the space between the atoms. I think he's talking about
the Casimir effect.
I'm not honestly sure, but I just like, but then I've seen some serious scientists be like, he's talking rubbish.
Well, have you seen Nassim Harame's Schwarzschild proton paper?
I have not.
It's he's calculated Einstein's field equation and essentially unified the field theory, showing that there's like one force, and he's explaining that the vacuum is of equal density to throughout. So like a black hole is the same density as a proton. And he's also showing like every proton is 2 protons revolving around each other at the speed of light, feeding energy into the vacuum and then back feeding energy and information from the vacuum back to you. And like that there's so much energy in the vacuum that, like you're saying, and what Tom is insinuating, that we can actually get, if we figure out how to tap into that energy, or that, I don't know if it's more accurately described as vibration, that we should be able to power systems with it or move systems with it, which then you can translate into powering them.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of like, I love to speculate on this shit.
Yeah. I love when the science meets the speculation.
It gets like exciting.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just thinking about graphene and quartz and crystals and stuff like that. And then what you can do with lasers once you refine, get smaller and smaller and smaller, the way where microprocessors are getting half as big and then smaller and then half as big and half as big and you're just getting smaller and smaller. Like, dude, computing, it's going to be nano computations, and I'm very excited. But what were you going to say?
No, I was going to say, I actually don't remember, but like, have you heard China have cracked quantum computing reportedly?
No.
Like that's like one of my friends convinced that like, if they get that, if they really have cracked that they could just be like days away from just being like light years beyond us, because, who is it? Sam Harris talks about AI sometimes, and he's talking about how like the if we created like a computer that was able to process information at the same speed or like the same way as a human brain, that like because electrical circuits are so much more efficient than biological ones, that it would be able to perform like 20,000 years of thought in like a day. And
Wow.
yeah, and that's a terrifying idea. Like that like if we crack that kind of technology, like it would like theoretically help us make that jump. Like technologically, it could help us work out a lot of shit, but it could also go rogue so fast. Thanks so much for listening. If you haven't already and you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to this podcast and to our mailing list. And don't forget, my book, Brexit, The Establishment Civil War, is now available for pre-order on Amazon. You'll find the link in the description below. Until next time, thanks so much for listening.